Okay, now that we understood what is a CMS, we're going to create our very first CMS collection. Now, in order to create a CMS collection, simply click over here under the CMS icon, and you're going to notice that in this site we do not have any CMS collection. Otherwise, you would have seen them here listed, and you can either click on Create New Collection or click on this top right icon, Create New Collection. Now, the moment that you click on it, you're going to see that we're going to be able to set all of the parameters and options of our first collection. So over here, you can see that we do have some collection templates, which are going to help us fill in the variables which are needed for the very most common use case scenarios of CMS collections. For example, if you need to set up a blog, you can select blog posts or authors of the website, different categories, different projects if it's a portfolio website, different clients if you're looking to showcase or organize clients in the backend, team members, and the list goes on. So in this case, we're going to select a blog post, but we can easily just customize the collection as we wish manually. So both of these approaches are totally viable. And if you click on blog post, you're simply going to notice that nothing really changes to the screen except for the collection fields and the custom fields. So you're going to notice that on the top section is going to maintain the same. So we're going to go one by one, and you can see that the very first element which is required is the collection name. So the collection name is essentially going to be the name of this collection. So it's going to be easily identified in the CMS collection list. So in this case, we're going to simply leave it at a blog post because this is going to be a collection of different blog posts. You can also see here the hints that Webflow is giving you. And over here, you can decide the collection URL. Now, this is going to be the name of the folder that your blog post pages will be stored in. And this is actually going to be important for SEO and the general site hierarchy architecture, because you're going to essentially have this URL fixed once you set up the collection list. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot change this in a second moment, but it is going to become more complex because you're going to need to set up free run redirects and generally speaking, just thinking through this ahead of time based on how you want the hierarchy and the architecture of your site is simply going to be very strategic on your behalf. So in this case, we can actually just keep it at post as Webflow suggests. And you can see over here that a collection page is created for a blog post in the pages panel. We're going to see that in just a moment. And also that collaborators can create and edit blog posts in the editor. So this is actually a very useful feature of Webflow, which enables you to bring in collaborators to, for example, writers to contribute to the blog post. They're going to have edit access in a limited way, in the sense that they were going to be able to manage and add and create new blog posts, but they won't have access to the entire website. So that is going to be quite useful in several instances. Now, moving on to the collection fields. Now, what are the collection fields? You're going to see that we have basic info, which is going to be the essentials in order to create the new collection field. So in this case, it's going to be the name of this blog post, which is likely going to be the header as well. And the slug, which again is going to be the actual URL that you're going to see, which you can see here as the preview as you're going to add items in the editor. And this is the editor preview. So this is what you're going to see in the backend. So you can customize these fields. I can move them around. For example, I can remove or add the main image, and the main image of this specific blog post is going to, for example, have a set minimum image size or maximum image size. You can set all the parameters, minimum or maximum width and height, just so that it's going to be consistent with each and every blog post, and you're going to have these guidelines for both yourself and the team. For example, if it's the marketing team, you want them to stick to a specific um, sort of guideline. So this is going to be really useful, and you can also decide if this field is required or if it's optional. If it's required, you cannot post without adding this field. If it's not required, it's simply going to be optional. And over here, I can either delete this field, I can duplicate it, or I can view the field connections, which is going to be a more advanced topic for another video. Now, once you're happy with the changes, you can simply click on Save Field. And before we do that, I just want to remind you that the help text is actually going to be something really useful. So, for example, I can leave a note here, and you can see that below the main image text, you can see that we have a note. So this is going to be extremely useful when you're working with marketing teams or other teams are going to, or team members are going to access this specific CMS. Maybe it's again a marketing team, other designers, other developers, or even stakeholders or clients. So this can be quite strategic in order to give them specific information as to what this field is about and how to best use it. And on top of that, of course, you can add a new field. Over here, we have a bunch of different fields from the collection template that we just added, but you can add all sorts of different fields. So from plain text, which you can see also, we have a preview on the right, rich text, which is going to enable you to add all sorts of text, as we mentioned in the elements, as we mentioned in one of the previous videos. Images, multi-images, so this is going to be almost like in a gallery format for the most part. Video links, individual links, email, phone number, date, switch, color option, and file. So there really is a lot that you can add and customize this collection to the degree that you want. So my recommendation is take a moment after this video, create your first CMS collection, start adding all of these different fields so that you can see them live, and you can actually get familiar with what are the options that are at your disposal so that you can make the most out of the suggestions that you can give to your clients, or simply be aware of what is possible in Webflow when it comes to personal projects. So once we're good with this collection, simply click on Create Collection, and the collection is going to be created.